It's midnight and you're tuned into Nightline with me, Muhammed, Ahmad, Hamdan. The top stories. No time-based promotion for underperforming school teachers. And rules on prohibition of e-cigarette sales to be implemented soon. Good morning. School teachers who have disciplinary problems will not have the privilege of being promoted based on the duration of their employment, known as time-based promotion. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, however, said he believes the matter only involves a minuscule percentage, as the majority of teachers have shown dedication in fulfilling their responsibilities.
Kalau disiplinnya lemah, kalau dalam setahun dia tuang tak pergi sekolah banyak kali, saya nak batalkan peraturan itu untuk mereka. Maknanya kenaikan pangkat itu otomatik dari hukum, dari prinsipnya, tetapi dikecualikan bagi yang cuai atau melanggar disiplin.
The Prime Minister said this when speaking at the Golden Jubilee celebration for the National Union of the Teaching Profession NUTP in Bangi on Saturday. The government had previously approved a time-based promotion for teachers who have served for upwards of 15 years. Thus, Anwar emphasized that it is now time to ensure that such promotions are only given to those who carry out their duties with integrity. In conjunction with the union's 50th anniversary, he also announced an additional allocation of 120,000 ringgit for the implementation of programs under NUTP. In the meantime, Anwar said the soon-to-be-announced Public Service Remuneration System, or SSPA, will be one of the best ever introduced by the government and hopes it would improve the services of civil servants and stop bad practices. The SSPA will be finalized in the 2025 budget. At the same event, Anwar urged the Education Ministry to prioritize mastery of the English language.
Untuk melonjakkan ekonomi dan pertumbuhan negara kita, kita patut beri penekanan khusus bahasa Inggeris. Ini period globalization, digitalization, energy transition, dan digital transformation, AI. Jagalah kepentingan anak-anak kita. Maka penguasaan bahasa Inggeris itu harus jauh lebih baik daripada yang ada sekarang.
The Prime Minister, however, emphasized that this does not mean that the country is neglecting the national language. Anwar reaffirmed his commitment to upholding Bahasa Malaysia, saying its status as the national language and our national education policies should not be questioned. He said as long as these principles were accepted, the usage of other languages such as Chinese, Tamil and Arabic could be expanded. Specific regulations and orders related to the prohibition on the sale of electronic cigarettes or vape products, including the sale of e-cigarettes through vending machines, are expected to be implemented soon. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the Attorney General's Chambers is now in the final stages of researching the regulations regarding the ban before they are approved. Dr. Zulkifli was asked to comment on the statement made by the Health Ministry on Friday regarding the impending Control of Smoking Products for Public Health Act 2024, also known as Act 852, which would also prohibit the sale and display of all smoking products, including through vending machines. This regulation is currently being refined and will be enforced alongside Act 852 once approved.
Dalam waktu kita akan sebelum kita melancarkan regulation ataupun peraturan dan perintah kita yang akan kita siapkan, sebenarnya ia sudah di saat akhir, di mereka akhir dalam Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Speaking to reporters after the opening ceremony of the Health Malaysia National Agenda and Carnival Perlis Hebat Sihat Milik Semua at the Urban Transformation Centre in Kanga, Dr. Zulkifli added that the ministry will monitor the situation nationwide so that it does not recur before the regulations and orders are implemented. Recently, the sale of vape products from a vending machine at a shopping centre in Kuala Lumpur went viral on the Act's application. Following complaints directed at the ministry, the media on Friday reported that the shopping centre was ordered to halt operations of the vending machine. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC plans to organise a series of nationwide tours disseminating anti-cyberbullying messages and modules. In a statement on Saturday, the Commission said it will partner up with the Royal Malaysian Police (PDRM) to review the standard operating procedure to facilitate the process of filing cyberbullying complaints. MCMC noted that the move will enable the authorities to carry out enforcement more effectively, in addition to bringing those involved to court and thus providing appropriate defence to those affected. Additionally, the announcement sends an important signal that the government is committed in dealing with the problem of cyberbullying that has resulted in loss of life. On Friday, Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil said his ministry will review changes to current laws under the Penal Code and the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, along with other relevant legislation to tackle cyberbullying. In a related matter, police will record statements from two individuals following a police report lodged by the mother of social media influencer Rajaswari Apahu, better known as Esha, who is believed to have taken her own life after being cyberbullied on social media. Sentul District Police Chief ACP Ahmad Sukarno Muhammad Zahari said the individuals involved have been contacted to have their statements recorded soon. The case is being investigated under Section 506 of the Penal Code, Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act, and Section 14 of the Minor Offences Act. On Friday, Esha's mother, 56-year-old PR Puspa, lodged a report against three individuals who allegedly uploaded videos and conducted live broadcasts on social media about her daughter. Previously, two individuals were arrested on suspicion of cyberbullying Esha on July 8th and 10th. Esha, an activist, was found dead a day after lodging a police report about threats she received on social media from the two individuals.
Diving deep into the business world
with expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Moving on, the Barisan Nasional BN candidate for the Nenggiri state by-election will be announced earlier. UMNO President Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the party's political bureau has identified one of the three candidates shortlisted by Kelantan UMNO who will contest in the by-election.
Biro Politik telah membuat keputusan dan kita menyerahkan nama kepada Datuk Ahmad Zazran Yaakob, pengurusi BN Kelantan dan pengurusi UMNO Kelantan untuk membuat pengumuman awal.
Zahid said this to reporters after officiating the Kuala Nerus UMNO Division Delegates meeting on Saturday. The Election Commission has set the Nenggiri state by-election polling day on August 17th. Meanwhile, the dates of candidate nomination and early voting for the by-election are on August 3rd and August 13th, respectively. The State Assembly seat became vacant with effect on June 19th, following Muhammad Azizi Abu Naim's removal from Bersatu when he expressed support for Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. Now, UMNO Vice President Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said the party needs to continuously address its internal weaknesses by strengthening leadership at all levels, whether at the central, state, division or branch level. He stated the empowerment effort does not rest on one group alone, but it is a collective responsibility of the entire party, emphasising the need for UMNO to learn from past experiences, eliminate internal conflicts and foster unity.
Semua ini memainkan peranan untuk memastikan bahawa kita di luar sana dilihat sebagai sebuah parti yang telah belajar daripada kesilapan kita. Salah satu daripada kesilapan kita inilah bergaduh sesama sendiri sehingga kan masing-masing bergaduh, jadi apabila tak puas hati pergi masuk parti lain atau buka parti lain. Yang ini kita kena pastikan bahawa ini tidak boleh lagi berlaku pada masa akan datang.
He said this to reporters after officiating the Titiwangsa UMNO Division Delegates meeting on Saturday. Johari, who is also the Member of Parliament for Titiwangsa, said that although the effort to strengthen party leadership will take time, it must be done to restore UMNO as a party of integrity in the eyes of the public. Commenting on the anti-party hopping law, Johari believes that the act is integral in ensuring that the government's stability is maintained for the greater good of the people.
Saya berpendapat bahawa apabila kita telah dipilih oleh sesuatu parti itu, apabila kita bertanding, maka kalau kita melompat, itu adalah merupakan satu perbuatan yang tidak boleh kita galakkan untuk membangunkan negara pada masa akan datang. Sebab ini boleh menakutkan pelabur-pelabur.
The government has agreed in principle to implement the variation of price or VOP mechanism to help contractors faced with rising costs of construction materials due to the recent targeted diesel subsidy. The move is to ensure projects are completed on time. Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan said the decision was made to reduce the burden of contractors and was at the discussion stage between the Finance Ministry, the Public Works Ministry and the Construction Industry Development Board, CIDB. He explained that for government contracts, the Finance Ministry is discussing with the Public Works Ministry and the CIDB on fine-tuning adjustments for the VOP for existing contracts. On whether the government will include more construction materials for the VOP, he said the government, in principle, will provide the VOP if there are justified increases, but said it required fine-tuning and validation with the CIDB. The Malaysian Malay Contractors Association had reportedly expressed hope that the VOP would be brought back to balance the rising cost of construction materials, set to be around 30%, after the implementation of the targeted diesel subsidy. Coming up, 11 passengers buried dead in landslide in Vietnam. This and more from the Foreign Front when we return.
Naik pasal pagi, suruh pukul 5. Saya bangun pagi, saya pakak bunga. Pokok bunga melutang, tapi patah. Cik bertelur, ayam menetap.
Pencalonan baru Muzik 39 minggu ini. Siapakah yang bakal menjuarai carta Top 20 Muzik 39 minggu ini? Semuanya dalam Muzik 39 hari ini jam 12.20 tengah hari di TV3 dan stream secara langsung di aplikasi Tonton.
Onto the Foreign Front, Indonesian rescuers on Saturday said they had ended the search for more than a dozen missing people after a landslide near an illegal gold mine in Sulawesi killed at least 27, with the search effort called off and 15 people still missing. Local search and rescue agencies said the toll could rise further. It added if there is any sign of the missing victims with valid and accurate evidence and based on the request of the Bone Balango government, an evacuation operation will be conducted. It is understood that the agency had consulted the families of the missing before ending the search. Hundreds of police officers and soldiers were deployed as part of the rescue effort, which was hampered by poor weather and damage to nearby bridges. The landslide, which triggered by torrential rain, previously hit the remote village in Bone Balango district on the central island of Sulawesi on July 7th. Landslides triggered by torrential rains in mountainous northern Vietnam have buried a 16-seater van, killing at least 11 people and leaving some missing on Saturday. According to authorities, the landslide hit the van around 4 a.m. local time as it drove through the Bak Mei district in the Hazang province. It was reported that the rescue teams, including soldiers and citizens of Hazang province, had found 11 people dead and 4 injured. However, the exact number of people in the van was not known as the aftermath of the heavy rains was complicating search and rescue efforts. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Pham Min Chinh urgently instructed local authorities and related government agencies to promptly deal with the disaster and stand ready to respond to more floods and landslides. Northern Vietnam has entered its rainy season with heavy downpours and flooding, making travel along mountain roads treacherous. At least 22 people have been confirmed dead on Saturday after a 2-story school building collapsed in central Nigeria, sending rescuers on a frantic search for more than 100 people trapped in the rubble. According to authorities, the Sane Academy building in Plateau State's Busabuji community collapsed early on Friday, shortly after students arrived for classes. A total of 154 students were initially trapped in the rubble, but 132 of them had been rescued and were being treated for injuries in various hospitals. The state government of Plateau has blamed the tragedy on the school's weak structure and location near a riverbank, urging schools facing similar issues to shut down. Building collapses are becoming common in Nigeria, with more than a dozen such incidents recorded in the last 2 years. More than 70 Palestinians have been killed and hundreds wounded in Israeli military strikes on Al-Mawasi, located west of Han Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. Gaza's health ministry on Saturday put the death toll at 71 people and said 289 others were injured, including some critically wounded. It was reported that the attack by Israeli warplanes targeted tents housing displaced Palestinians and a water distillation unit in an area that was designated a safe zone by the Zionist regime. Meanwhile, an official at Nasser Hospital said medical teams did not have the capacity to receive any more wounded patients, while civil defense teams continue to recover from the site of the bombing. To date, at least 38,443 Palestinians have been killed and 88,481 wounded in Israel's war on Gaza since October 7th. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his third wife were acquitted on charges of marrying unlawfully by a Pakistan court on Saturday. Yet he will not be freed after authorities issued fresh orders to arrest him. The ruling came a day after his Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf or PTI party won more seats in parliament, ramping up pressure on the country's fragile ruling coalition. According to Khan's PTI party, authorities have issued fresh arrest warrants for him in 3 cases linked to violence against the military and other state installations that erupted following his brief arrest in May 2023. The party, however, called it a gimmick aimed at prolonging his imprisonment, warning that keeping Khan in jail despite Saturday's decision will deepen a political crisis, which has crippled the country of 240 million people since he was ousted in parliament in a parliament vote of confidence in 2022. JDT maintained winning ways in Super League sports after this breather.
orang lah, nak potong lah.
Acah-acah nak masak tengah hari kan, Acik tak payahlah. Tak ada siapa tengok Acik punya jasa tu keluar sekarang tengok melodi sejam je pun.
Macam-macam. Kenapa marah-marah ni? Kenapa marah-marah ni? Tak marah, geram je.
Marah tak ada, saja keluarkan perasaan Acik. Cepatlah kita nak gosip dengan Acik ni.
Betul. Makcik-makcik kat dapur semua, kalau nak tengok gosip panas, jangan lupa saksikan Melodi setiap hari Ahad 12.30 tengah hari hanya di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Serlakan bakat untuk bangunkan potensi diri, kejayaan wanita menjadi inspirasi.
Saya dalam kidal, cello tu dia belah ke kiri, tangan kanan dia menggesek, tangan kiri menekan notes. Challenging for me.
Datuk ada bagi 2 tiket. Dia cakap, try ajak anak saya untuk keluar.
My parents like him. Sarah pun masa tu memang tak ada siapa pun.
Kami doakan supaya kekal bahagia hingga ke jannah.
Nona di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
We're back with sports. Football, the Super League. 3 matches were played on Saturday. Negeri Sembilan FC secured a 2-0 victory over Seri Pahang FC, while Penang FC recorded a 2-1 win against Perak FC. At the Likas Stadium, visitors Johor Darul Takzim JDT FC remained on top of the league after defeating Sabah FC 3-1. Romel Morales provided the opener for JDT 21 minutes into the game before adding his second goal just before the break to give the Southern Tigers a 2-0 lead. In the second half, Gabriel Perez managed to close the gap for the Rhinos through a penalty kick in the 52nd minute, but hopes for a comeback for Sabah soon diminished when Bergson completed the victory for JDT with a third goal in the added time. With the results, JDT now have 15 points, while Sabah are in the 4th place with 7 points. And still on football, the J-League champions Vissel Kobe moved up to 2nd in the overall standings in unconvincing fashion after they could only manage a 1-0 draw against bottom side Consadole Sapporo. The home side began brightly and took the lead in the 39th minute through Ryota Aoki's free kick from outside the box. Vissel then piled in the pressure and managed to level the score 3 minutes into the second half through Yuya Osako's close-range header. Mihailo Petrovic's side, who were on an 8-match losing streak going into the encounter, could have restored their lead in the 75th minute from the penalty spot, but Musashi Suzuki's attempt was saved by goalkeeper Daya Maekawa. The draw meant Vissel are on 41 points, while Consadole remain at the bottom of the league with 12 points. On to tennis, the 2024 Wimbledon Championship. 7-time world champion Novak Djokovic moved to within 1 win of capturing a record equaling 8th title when he ended the run of Italian Lorenzo Musetti in the semi-final. In a hard-fought clash, the Serbian kept Musetti at bay with his great defensive skills and consistency, earning a 6-4, 7-6, 6-4 victory to set up a blockbuster rematch of last year's final with Carlos Alcaraz. 37-year-old Djokovic will become the oldest champion in tournament history if he wins his 37th Grand Slam final on Sunday. Earlier, 3 times Grand Slam champion Alcaraz reached his 4th Grand Slam final when he recovered from a set down to defeat Daniil Medvedev. While number 5 Medvedev took the opening set in a tie-break as an erratic Alcaraz struggled for consistency, but the Spaniard fought his way back into the contest before wrapping up a 6-7, 6-3, 6-4, 6-4 victory in the semi-final. Man stabbed to death at bus stop. The details after this short break. Stay tuned.
Kalau ikutkan orang kata, oh awak berhijab, tak perlulah jaga sangat rambut, tak perlulah jaga kulit kepala. Oh tidak.
Kulit kepala gatal dan kemerahan.
Antara simptom utama untuk penyakit seborrheic dermatitis ialah ada kegatalan, especially pada kulit kepala.
Apakah antara penyebab rambut gugur?
Kulit kepala ni kalau dia terlebih berminyak, jadi kulat tu suka tumbuh dan membiak.
Diskusi mengenai kering, kuping dan kelimumur di Hello Doktor Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Serlahkan bakat untuk bangunkan potensi diri, kejayaan wanita menjadi inspirasi.
Saya dalam kidal, cello tu dia belah ke kiri, tangan kanan dia menggesek, tangan kiri menekan notes. Challenging for me.
Datuk ada bagi 2 tiket. Dia cakap, try ajak anak saya untuk keluar.
My parents like him. Sarah pun masa tu memang tak ada siapa pun.
Kami doakan supaya kekal bahagia hingga ke jannah.
Nona di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Doktor kata kalau cara yang terbaiknya pembedah lah. Ganti tulis lain. Tulis tu terpaksa kena buat lah. Tapi kos dia masa tu saya fikir, doktor kata kos dia lah. Saya fikir nak cari duit kat mana. Tapi kita usahalah minta ke bajet ke hospital semua gitulah. Lebih tu sendirilah doktor kata kena bayar. Pergi kat kebajikan kata awak kena bayar juga separuh.
Welcome back. In Kelantan, a man was found dead near a bus stop in Kota Baru, believed to have been stabbed with a sharp object. The 30-year-old victim was found by members of the public along Jalan Wakaf Siku at around 11 a.m. on Saturday. According to eyewitnesses' accounts, the victim was heard calling out for help shortly before the incident. Meanwhile, a nearby store employee reported seeing the victim near the bus stop, but initially thought that the man was sleeping. The victim reportedly died while receiving treatment at Raja Perempuan Zainab II Hospital in Kota Baru. Police have requested cooperation of nearby premises to hand over any CCTV recordings that could aid in the investigation. Further investigation into the incident is currently underway. Three maintenance workers were killed while another was injured after a car ploughed into them on the North Klang Valley Expressway and KVE early on Saturday morning. The incident reportedly occurred at about 3:30 a.m. as the victim were doing maintenance work at kilometre 3.1 of the expressway. According to Shah Alam District Police Chief ACP Muhammad Iqbal Ibrahim, preliminary investigation revealed that the driver of the car, a local man in his 20s, had lost control of his vehicle. He has hit a water barrier and divider before ramming into the victims. 3 Indian nationals were killed at the scene, while the 4th victim, a Bangladeshi worker, suffered injuries and was sent to Shah Alam Hospital for treatment. The driver has been detained for further investigation under Section 41(1) of the Road Transport Act for reckless driving. An event decorator was arrested with more than 25 kilograms of drugs following raids conducted in Cheras and Kajang recently. Police also seized cash and 3 cars belonging to the 40-year-old suspect, with total seizures amounting to nearly 80,000 ringgit. According to Cheras District Police Chief, Assistant Commissioner Ravinder Singh Sarban Singh, the suspect was detained at the side of a Cheras street at about 12 p.m. on Thursday, where police seized 22.6 kilograms of cannabis and 27.75 grams of Aramin 5 from the suspect. Further investigation led police to a condominium in Kajang, which was believed to have been used as a drug storage facility. Police also seized 4.2 kilograms of cannabis, a car and an MPV. Initial investigation found that the suspect has been active in trafficking drugs since early this year and stored the drugs in the guarded luxury condominium unit in order to evade authorities. It is believed that he obtained the drugs from dealers in the Klang Valley. The suspect did not have any prior criminal record but tested positive for benzodiazepine. The suspect has been remanded until July 17th, and the case is being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act. Of Nightline, we leave you with visuals of global stars descending on the red carpet for Indian billionaire Mukesh Ambani's son's wedding in Mumbai. While the couple kicked off celebrations with a traditional Hindu ceremony, it was the attendees in the room that drew media attention like no other wedding this year. With that, I'm Muhammed and Hamdan. Thanks for tuning in and take care.